So let us just start. So as you probably have recognized, we'll start sending this kind of newsletter email just to give some information regarding Rapido about some different kind of configurations or different kind of information that has been added to DocSite, just to give some kind of awareness that, hey, we just updated this. So maybe it will be an example or information that is important for you guys. So I guess you guys were curious enough to attend. So hopefully we can go through some of these examples as mentioned in the newsletters as well. So this will just be a demo of the things that we have sent to you guys. So the topic for today are image filters, employee list, Popup/overlay, and dynamic list and article. So for starters, we start with the image filters. So in Rapido, you are able to create content, and if you don't know it, then you're able to add filters on the images in order to create some different kind of effect or be able to highlight the text to make the background a bit dark, for example. And I will also just give a small example of the focal point that has been implemented in Dynamicweb that we have tried to use in Rapido as well. So, for example, here in my page, if we go down, I have prepared some examples here. I have these 3 columns, and I will go in the backend for those and show you that I have these 3 columns in my example. So this one, so the first one, I want to input a grayscale filter. So you go in here and go down to the section called image filter. Then we have a color for colorize. I will show another example a bit later to show you how to use that. But then we have the image filter for primary and secondary, and it actually means that you could either add one filter or a combination of those. So for example, in here, I will just add the grayscale, save it, save again here. As you can see, it will add this, grayscaled filter on it. And if you want to, you can also add another filter on top of that, which could be, for example, blur. Save that, play it again, and you can see it has blurred out. So I'll just show you the same effect with the other 2 as well to create darken and lighten as well. So we go to the second paragraph with the darken, go down in the image filter, select darken, save and close, and then we just, let's take this one immediately, have lighten as well, go down to image filter and select lighten. And the thing with these filters, you can actually have the same image. You can see it got a bit darker and a bit lighter, and then have the grayscale and blur effect as well in here. So as you can see, you can have the same image in the backend in the file archive, but you can apply some filters with it without taking the same image, go to Photoshop, try to do some different kind of filters with just these basic filters, and then upload 4 or 5 different kind of the same images actually. But here you can just upload one and then apply this on top of that. So the thing, for example, the one that I have here, I have applied, if you just go to that, is that I have applied the darken on it in order to highlight the font as well. Because if I didn't have it, then this image will be really light, and it could be a bit hard, as you see here, it can be a bit hard to see what the text says in here. So with that, I will also show you that you could use this colorized filter. And what it does is just take the colors that you have here, which you have defined in website settings. So if you said, well, I really want to have a bluish filter and I will maybe have this kind of blue, save it. Then you will have this bluish filter on top of that. And then of course you can still combine it with some of the other filters as well. For example, lighten. Here you go. So yeah, that was some tips and tricks regarding image filters of that. Oh, I forgot one thing. So as mentioned to you before, we also have tried to introduce the focal point here. So currently we have where it's focused on the top in here. And if you try to focus more on the bottom as an example, then it will change. Oh, it didn't change it. Let's see. Oh, well, it was supposed to change it. I think we need to look at that as well. But it should have changed the focal point for that. Next up is the employee list. And in here, we have some templates regarding the employee list where you can apply some of the users here and with some basic information like their name, department, title, which company they're working in, email and phone, and maybe a link for LinkedIn as well in order to contact them. And here you can try to maintain those kind of information. And you are able to sort the employees based on their department. So in Rapido, we have in contact employees, we have created a paragraph and added this app called extranet using the list, and then using this template, use a list 4 columns. And what we have here is that we have these users shown, and you can see here we're looking at the user group called employee3, and the user group are in here in the user module, and then employee. And you can see here I have my demo user Niklas Mogensen and Karina Jensen. So if I click of those, then you can see that the name is filled out, their email are filled out, and then we go down to those more work-related information like company, department, and job title. And then we have the custom field regarding the LinkedIn. So these which field you can type in order to have in the employee list, you can gather here in the information for configuration list, and here then we have defined which fields you can add into, and then it will appear in here. So if we go back to the content, we can, for example, add some more. Oh, I wanted to add a group, some more group of that. So for example, I have some user in PIM marketing and PIM technical. I'll just add those, save it, and then they should appear here with their information. So as you can see here, as mentioned before, that we are able to filter them based on the field regarding department. So marketing, service, development, or just show all of them. Then we have it in here. And we can easily just add a new one into it. And right now, if you don't have an image for your user, then this will just be the default of it. But for example, if we go to the user, to which we have Niklas Mogensen here, we can add an image for Niklas Mogensen. Let's just take some random images. And Karina. Save that. Then it will apply the images here. So yeah, this is really a nice way to show your employees when you just have some simple information that you need to gather here regarding those information that stands here. And we do have, for example, extra fields as well, besides those that are in here. We have, I have an example here where we have phone and then business phone. But yeah, as mentioned before, just look at the which field we provide regarding the users. So next up is the Popup or overlay, as we call it in Rapido. You're able to create pop-ups, different areas in your page in order to either highlight an event, a campaign, or blog, or just to guide them much more on the side. Try to highlight some specific pages you really want your users to have more focus on. And in here, I will just show you that, for example, in our, I think it's the contact page. Yes, we have this newsletter sign up. So what I've done is I have created a paragraph and then created this overlay. And if you just go in with the one that I already created, here you can enter a header, a text, an image, and then the area that you want to look into. So right now I have just linked it to the sign up. So if you go in here and click here, then it will just redirect to this link. So this one is just pretty easy, simple. Just close this one. And here in the design section, you can define which area you want your overlay to place. Right now it's in the bottom right corner, but you could also apply it here on top if you rather want to have that. Oh, I closed the wrong one. Let me just get it back. So you can apply it up here. Yeah, and then you have some different kind of which position you would have an image. I will come back to that at the moment because I just need to go through this. Then you can edit the modal height, the width, font color, background color as well. And then also decide what kind of animation you want to have, if they need to go to fade or slide from the left or right. And this one is probably the most important thing, is that how many times you want to show this pop-up. So you can either select nothing, then it will just appear every time you go to the page, which is probably very annoying for the most users, but you can also decide that it should appear every 24 hours, 15 days, or every 30 days, depending on what kind of information that you want to, how many times you want to show this kind of information for the users. Or you can say that if you, for example, have a button, as I have here, say that, okay, I want to show this overlay only once, and it should disappear when they have clicked on the call to action button. So if I check this, save it, and then go to my page again. Oh yeah, I just clicked it before. But yeah, when you click it, then it wouldn't appear again because then they already have redirected to this specific page and probably seen it or read it, but you can also not do that. And right now my overlay shows for everyone, but I could also say that it either should be shown for only anonymous user or login user. So if I select this, and of course it depends on what kind of content you have, then you want to show it to some specific. But if I sign in, for example, then it should appear like that. And if you really want to be specific with your overlay because you want to target a really specific group or exclude some groups, then you can add user from a specific group, and then you will link them to some specific users that you want. For example, if you want to, if you have some specific information regarding product information management, then you probably would have a group with those kind of users and then add them to this. So they're the only users that can see this kind of pop-up. So you can really target it by that. So I just want to create a new one just to show you another thing that you could do with it. So let's call this bike event. Bike event, insert an image. And then have a link to, oh, no, not have a link. Just show you, select this kind of image position, and I want it to be an overlay of the, on the front page where it will have like a darkish background on it. I will just have my model height and width to auto. Font color light, dark. On start, yes, I will save that. So what you can do with this overlay is that you can attach an application on it. In this situation, I have already created a form. So I want to event sign up, for example. Select template, and then I will just select this template that I want to use. So if I go to the front page, if it wants to load, then I will get this information. So you could have, instead of the information I have before where I link to a form, or it could also be a regular page, I could actually add the specific form on this pop-up as well. And again, try to target it, which kind of users that you want to address this to. So the last one is regarding dynamic list and articles. And our dynamic list and articles is a way where you can define a specific layout and then just add a new article that are following those kind of layout and having in a list. And then you can apply it on a specific page as well by using a dynamic list paragraph. But I will just show you the one that we have here. So right now I just have this structure with a hierarchy, but you could also just have the guides and use without this kind of hierarchy as well. So maybe it will be best if I show you this with two tabs, if I can, besides of each other. So if we go with the dynamic list, so as you can see here, these are divided into different sections. This one up here we call the focus list, and this is where you can, in each of every article, there is a checkbox called I want to set this in focus, and it will be applied up here. I will come back to that. Then we have the main list, which you have in here. So for example, if you go back here, we have the focus list, and right now I have that I want to have a focus list with the slider, but I could also select that I want to have it as a two-section paragraph. So if we just let it update here, then I have the two-section paragraph and the three-column in here. I'll just switch it back. And yeah, as you can see here, it is the same in here. You can define it whatever you want. If you want to show more, then you can do that. Then we also have some configuration, please, like that. Then we also have some configuration regarding the sticker position of it. right now we have the sticker position here up in the left upper corner, but we can apply it below the image. Is going on? Oh, this is the focus list. This one, I was looking for this one. Then it will apply it down here. So this was just generally about the list itself regarding the layout, but you are also able to apply the search in here. And then a search field will appear, so you could say top off, and it will filter those up that don't have this kind of keyword on it. Then you can add the category filter. And this category filter is actually based on when you have a hierarchy like this. Is it the guides I want to filter through, or is it the news? So when I have this mix match with different kind, I can just upload. I can say, I just want to show, oh, I just want to see everything within news, or I just want to see the thing regarding guides, or mix match of it. Then we have something called show filters. And this is a filter that you can apply yourself. So right now in this example, I just have these fields, but you can edit these kind of fields regarding what you want to have to the article. So in each article, for example, I can just show you. We have this kind of selection. If for example, you want to be able to filter to, for example, everything that has something related with news and something with track, for example. So you can combine those kind of filter, and you can in here in item type, and this is maybe for those who are setting this up or making, let me just see, paragraph list. Oh, this is the one. 2 seconds, I just need to focus a bit. Category filter. Show, no, not category filter. Filters. This one. Where is that? Should be this filters. 2 seconds. I cannot find it right now, but you are able to edit which kind of category this should be included. Why cannot? I cannot find it right now, but yeah, you are able to edit that as well. And besides the list itself, you can edit the look of the article. So right now I am in guides. If you click here on page and go down to the article settings, right now it has a default to the one above us, the dynamic blocks, because we have defined that. But if you want to say, okay, this specific guide, I want it to be different than all the others that I have down here in my list, then I can just override that and then say that it should have, instead of this look, it should have this specific look. Unless this specific look already have a top of the hill, because you can also, yeah, it already has. So if I just change this to the default here, then it will go back to this. It's because on the specific article itself, you can also customize that. For example, if you have a form up here and you want all the guides to look the same, except this specific article, then you can change it on that specific article as well. I have an example of this in here with this one. So all the others, we have this kind of, oh, yeah, this kind of look. But with this one, prepare mountain bikes, we have this kind of look because I want to have this kind of form set up for that as well. Somebody is writing to me that I'm in the wrong item type, so that was probably why I couldn't see it. Thank you for that information. Yeah, and the thing with the, I don't know if you guys know this, but the thing with the dynamic article, I can just show you from here, is that, let me see. Is that there is a guide in here of how you could use the dynamic article, because you can actually, if you go here, you can copy our dynamic article and dynamic list article. You can copy that. And then let's say you call it news or blogs. And then in order to help your clients, because right now when they need to fill in the article, they have a lot of fields that they can edit or to have a focus on. For example, let's just take this one. You can see all this information that is in here. You can actually, when you make a copy, you can delete those and then say, okay, my client cannot do this, and in here they are only allowed to, let's say, just a title and image, and that's it. Then you can really make it much more focused depending on what your client needs are, without deleting ours, because you're making a copy of it and then deleting these elements that is in here to make it more focused. And that will really help them to fill in a bit minor information, but the things that they need as well. But there is a guide in here specifically saying how you should do if you need to copy our article, or you can just use it as it is, where you just have everything available. It's up to you. So let me see if I can find a proper item type that I was suggested that I was in. It's probably in here. Let's see. Oh yeah, sorry, I found it now. So as mentioned before on the list, I will just go a bit back. In here with the filter one I have here, you can call it something else, and then in here you can have the different kind of options depending on what you want to filter within. And right now I have it just a drop down list, but if you want to have your article lie on different kind of categories, you can just select this as a checkbox list. Then you can add multiple areas on the list. So if I just save this, if you go to an article, oh, I was already in. If you go down here, you can see that now I have it as a checkbox list, and this specific article could, for example, be on Crossfire, but as well as Track. So it appear on both of those. And thank you for the fifth with the where that I was in the wrong item type. So Track here, I have this one, and then I have Crossfire where I have the same and I can combine it with this as well. So it shouldn't appear with this kind of combination. So I think the time is up, and I really hope that you guys got some more information, and I hope this small quick demo will help you to get information by that, because we do have a lot of information on the doc side, but sometimes it's much easier to demonstrate it more visually than read it. So I hope this new idea, that you're open for it at least. So thank you for now, and see you soon. Bye-bye.